Hey, it's me again. Like I said, I'm going to be showing you guys my Danger Dark World deck list. At the beginning of this deck list, I used 3 of the Dark World structure deck to get myself started, but then I ended up getting more cards, as you can see, by this Eradicator Epidemic Virus. Better than the Crush Card Virus, in my opinion. Yeah, Deck Devastation Virus, I mean. If I could stop hitting the camera, that would be great. Anyways, let's get into it and start with the main deck. To start this off, I play 2 Rainbow, as well as 2 Grapha. I feel like 3 of each is a bit much. This is a 47 card deck, but I feel like 3 of each is a bit too much in terms of having these guys in the deck, especially when you can fuse into stuff like this using these 2. I only ever really get out 1, so having 3 is a bit much. Yes. Next on the list, I have 3 Genta. Genta is really good for the draw power, not for the draw power. He's really good because you can search Gates of the Dark World straight from deck to hand by discarding him. And then when he's banished off the effects of Gates of Dark World, he can special summon himself to the field. So you banish him and he special summon himself to the field. Really good for getting link plays or rank 4. Then I have 3 Brow. Draw 1 card on discard. If it's discarded by an opponent's effect, I draw 2 cards instead, which is really good because this guy changes the opponent's card effects to the opponent discards 1 card, making the player playing this deck the opponent. Which means that instead of getting 1 with basically a negate, I get to draw 2, which means more Dark World plays. Next I have 3 Snow. It's really good, another discard effect, as all of them do, but this one searches just any Dark World card from deck to hand. And then I can special summon that target in defense position. Oh wait, no. Target 1 monster in an opponent's graveyard, add 1 Dark World card from deck to hand, then special summon target in defense position. Next up I have 2 Silva. Special summons itself on discard. Not good for rank 4 plays, but good for link plays. And then I play 1 Parl and 1 Ceruli. These each have really good effects. Special summon any other Dark World monster, and this one summons itself to the opponent's field. That rounds up the actual Dark World monsters. I have a total of 17. I'm running a total of 17 Dark World monsters in this deck. Next up, I have that followed by 2 Salamander Catalyzers. Not only a Fiend monster, but reveal it from hand and another... Yeah, you reveal it from hand along with 1 Fiend monster in your hand. Special summon 1 of them, discard the other. So special summon this, discard a Dark World card, get the effect off the Dark World card. Running 2 because 3 is a bit much. Now for the dangers. I run a total of 12 dangers. I have 3 Nessie, good for drawing or searching other dangers in case it gets hit. Followed by 3 Mothman. No matter what, you're drawing a card, but you can also chance to discard 1, get another Dark World effect. Next is Chupacabra, good for rank 4, because it special summons itself no matter what. 2 Bigfoot, 3,000 attack beater, also it's 8 stars, good for rank 8. 1 Tsuchinoko, special summons itself no matter what, good for link. And Danger Jackalope, it's also just really good. So a total of 12 dangers. That rounds off all the monsters in my deck. For spells and traps, I have 3 Dealings. Both players draw and discard 1, good for getting the effects. Really good, just play it. Both players draw a card, discard a card. Then you get the discard effect off Dark World, assuming that's what you discard, or Dangers, in which case you also get an effect because you're discarding it. So no matter what, you're getting a card effect off of this card effect. Really good for if you have nothing else. Followed by that, I have 2 Gates. 3, in my opinion, is too many. Really because you're not really going to need more than 2, in my opinion. Play this, discard 1, banish 1, draw 1. Banishing Genta, special summon itself, discard Sylva, special summon itself, or discard literally any other Dark World card. You get the effect off of the Dark World, like discarding Brow, draw a card, and then draw another card. Once this, draw a card off the resolve with this, then draw a card again because Brow would resolve. So, 2 gates. Next up is 2, the beginning of the end. Just another good draw card. 3, too many, because, well, they're not really going to need to use this more than twice. So 3 is just overkill. It's more draw power. Next up, 2 Dark World Accession. Fusion card for the deck lets you fuse out this Grapha, Dragon Overlord. Fusion monster, you can discard cards from hand to fuse 2, which gives you the Dark World effects, which is really good. It's also a quick play, which means you can set it face down. If your opponent tries to do something, oh, chain. It's a really good card. Next up, I have 2 archives. 3 is too many. Even if I wanted to run 3, I lost the 3rd copy somehow. So it's a good thing I'm only playing 2. Basically just another way of discarding, and you can give your monsters attack. So, really good. Next up, I have 1 copy of Card Destruction. Really good card, especially if you have a hand full of Dark World cards. Because then you discard all of them, and then you get all of their effects in chain order that you choose. Really good card, and also if your opponent has any, like, has a good starting hand too, then get rid of all their materials. Yeah, this deck is built towards going first. It probably doesn't seem like it, but it is built towards going first. When somebody had me go second, I just sided in some cards and then, yeah, OTK'd. Next up is 2 Punishment. Really good counter trap. Also can banish itself to protect your cards. So it's basically a negate and a protection. So that's really good. And then what some people probably say is a 3 of, I only play 2 Skill Drain. I feel like 3 is just a bit bricky because 2, you have a less chance of drawing both of them in your starting hand. 3, you have a chance to draw 2 in your starting hand more than you have a chance of drawing both of these in your starting hand, if that makes sense. Also, I needed room for the other cards. Alright, next we're going to move on to the extra deck. Starting off the extra deck, I have 3 Grapha Dragon Overlord of Dark World. I would run 2, but I want to have as big of an extra deck as I can right now. There are some cards in here that I need to get to update this deck, but once I do, I will publish a updated version of this deck list. But for right now, I have 3 Grapha Overlord. And I definitely need to add like a Tornado Dragon in here at some point. But yeah, 3 Overlord. Now for the Link monsters, I have Nightmare Cerberus, Nightmare Phoenix. That's the Link 2s. Basically only ever really use these if I don't have a way of getting to an Xyz monster, because it can help me blow up the opponent's board in some situations. There was one situation where I linked into this, then into this, and then I would link into Unicorn, and that got rid of 3 things. Yeah, I got rid of 3 things off of the opponent's board. And then I linked this into Griffin, not realizing that Griffin couldn't be activated unless linked, so that was useless, but it was still better, but it still gave me enough attack to beat over his last monster. Next up, I have Blackluster Soldier. I mean, really, I just put him in there because he's decent. He's not going to be in the final version of this deck list. I'd probably replace him with like a Bow or even IP Masquerade. I mean, like, basically either of those would be better than him, but that's what I have in there for now. And now on to the Xyz monsters. Right now only run 2, but like I said, I'm going to be adding a Tornado Dragon. First up I have Abyss Dweller. Best card, and best Xyz monster that I can possibly have right now. Basically no effects from Graveyard. So basically, Tears, I believe it was, can't do their stuff. And then next I have Hope Harbinger, because I have Graphas and Bigfoots. Both of them level 8. Rank to this, Spell Negate. And he is an Omni Negate. Anyways, that rounds up my 10 card extra deck. I will add more to it, like that Tornado Dragon and some other stuff, but right now it's just 10 cards. For my side deck, I have the 1 Eradicator, because I only have 1 copy right now, and my 3rd Skill Drain, just in case I need to switch it in case I'm playing up against a effect-heavy deck. Monster effect-heavy deck. And then I also run 3 Deck Devastation. I was playing up against, I believe it was Sprites, and I sided this in. I was playing up against whichever deck mills cards off the top of your deck banished face up. I sided in 3 of these, didn't draw them, then had 2 of them banished by the effect. If I had drawn one, I probably would have gotten rid of most of his combat pieces. Keep hitting the camera, sorry. Next I have 3 Paleozoic Deinonychus. Really good Paleozoic card. It is a discard, and if I do, yeah, it's basically a target, negate, banish, and then special summon it if special summons itself if another card's activated. So protection and negate, basically. Gotta pick up these cards. Next in my side deck, I have 3 Dragged Down into the Grave. Just really good because you get both players have to discard something. So basically, wait until you have just Dark World monsters in your hand, and then use this. You discard. They have to choose one of your cards to discard, no matter what you're getting an effect, and then you both draw a card. So you get materials back. You get resources back as well. Next up is 3 Puppetry. I'm not main decking this because I feel like it's situational. I will probably put one of these in to replace one of my maybe one of my banishment or something, or one of my skill drains, because this is probably good for having the beginning of the end in the deck, because it targets banished cards. Never mind. It does not target banished cards. It targets graveyard cards and then banishes them, then discard a monster. Then finally I have my 3rd Bigfoot. Yeah, I just have him in there because I didn't know what was put in here. Don't have another Eradicator. If I did have another Eradicator, I'd gladly take him out and replace him with another one of the Eradicator. Yeah, that's pretty much it for my side deck. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this Danger Dark World deck list. I hope it helps you create your own version of the deck, but this is just what I play with. It works sometimes, doesn't work sometimes. It's basically just a deck that's fully based on RNG. I call it, my name for the deck is literally just RNG Epitome, because that's what it is, just full RNG. If RNG isn't on your side, then you get a bad hand, can't draw anything good, and it just ended like that. So, see you all in the next one. Corv out.